It was the fake scandal heard round the world. Stephen Colbert claimed he was being censored, the FCC out to get him because he was not allowed to broadcast an interview with a politician out of Texas. What a strange thing, how bizarre, and yet it was denied by FCC Chair Brendan Carr. Now we're finding out what was really behind the ordeal, and it all had to do with perhaps semi-rigging an election and taking down Jasmine Crockett. Hello folks, welcome back to the channel that is taking off like a rocket wherever we go, spreading the truth with a capital T far and wide across the fruited plains of YouTube. You can be a part of the movement. Click that like button, drop a comment down below, and if you're not yet subscribed, we're working hard every day to earn it from you. There was a fake scandal on the Stephen Colbert show where he pretended the FCC was out to get him, where CBS News had abandoned him, and suddenly he could not have the guests on that he wished to have. But folks, we're to tell you, it actually worked. That fake scandal paid off, and here's how. ThatParkPlace.com has it from Marvin Montanaro. Stephen Colbert-backed James Tallarico wins the Senate primary. Jasmine Crockett has been defeated in the wake of a late show gamesmanship. What's it about? Well, let's read it. Texas State Representative James Tallarico has emerged victorious in the Democratic primary for a U.S. Senate seat in Texas, defeating Representative Jasmine Crockett in a race that drew national attention, and a surprising late-night television controversy that critics say reshaped the narrative around the campaign. The James Tallarico victory comes weeks after headlines surrounding an unusual dispute involving the late show with Stephen Colbert, CBS lawyers, the FCC, equal time rule, blah, blah, blah. What happened? We'll tell you, folks. Stephen Colbert tried to have Tallarico on. Tallarico is the more moderate of the Democrats, and the Democrat Party may have wanted him to win over Jasmine. So Stephen Colbert has him on. CBS says, hey, you got to have the other candidates on, or else we get in trouble because the FCC rule is that we have all candidates on. So we're not being biased and providing some sort of political advantage. Stephen Colbert comes out and screeches, I'm being censored. And they put the interview out on the web. Then all of the fundraising goes insane for this man because Stephen Colbert has said, we're being censored. They won't let you hear from James Tallarico. CBS, of course, came out later and said, nope, this is not actually happening. But I'm here to tell you, mission accomplished for the Democrats. They got rid of Jasmine Crockett. And look at this. Who did Jasmine Crockett come out and blame? Not Stephen Colbert, of course. No, because she can't. Because you're not allowed to criticize what happens inside the Democrat Party. Here's who Jasmine Crockett blamed for the, defeat.
So that's my news, is that we're not going to have election results tonight, in my opinion, based upon what specifically is taking place in Dallas County. Unfortunately, this is what Republicans like to do.
I don't know how the Republicans rigged the Democrat primary, but apparently that's because that's all they can say. Because here's what really happened from that Park Place down farther into the article. According to Carr's remarks, the candidate, Brendan Carr, the FCC, according to Carr's remarks, the candidate, James Tallarico, raised more than $2 million in campaign contributions following the attention generated by the Colbert controversy. Critics of the episode argue this situation effectively transformed Tallarico into a political underdog figure, someone portrayed as being silenced or suppressed by powerful institutions. That narrative gained traction across social media and cable news coverage the weeks leading up to the primary. Now, ultimately, here's what you need to know. We could get into the details of the politics of it, but that's really not what I'm interested in. It's not my lane. It's not where I like to live in. I want to cover entertainment. The only thing that's fascinating in the entertainment aspect of this is that Stephen Colbert and Late Night, Jimmy Kimmel too, they have completely captured what Late Night was supposed to be. This is not Johnny Carson anymore. This is not Jay Leno. This is not John Letterman. This is not David Letterman. Sorry, not John. Lauren, okay, there was a John Letterman too. He was very famous, I'm sure, somewhere, maybe in Kalamazoo. But David Letterman, this is not Conan O'Brien. Instead, Lauren, this is a political cudgel. This is an hour and a half of them manipulating politics. And it's become something even farther left than MS Now. This entire ordeal was orchestrated to give a win in a Democrat primary. It captured the headlines, and it worked, Lauren. This one actually worked for them, even if Colbert is going to be off the air in, 3 months.
Okay. I don't disagree. What are you looking for here from me?
Here's what I need from you, Lauren. Crockett says it's anybody but the machine that made this happen. You're laughing about it. What are you laughing at Crockett for? Wait. Jasmine she's got an answer for what went down.
Yep, she is a unique mind, storied individual, really. I just think that there's a real irony in having a Democratic person claim that Republicans are into rigging elections. That's we're the ones that are actually trying to implement voter ID of some kind. They hate the idea. So okay, whatever you say, Jasmine. Happy to hear you rationalize your defeat there.
Lauren, what if I told you this has been Hollywood's favorite primary? What if I told you that it's not just Colbert that was interested in it? It says the race has drawn significant attention from the entertainment industry long before the Colbert controversy erupted. According to reporting from Deadline, Hollywood donors closely watched the contest between James Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett, both of whom were seen as rising figures within the Democratic Party. Of course, you've said she's a very unique mind, and that's true. She is exceedingly to the left, and I think that Stephen Colbert was brought in with Hollywood to create a fake scandal, to take out her legs and make sure that Tallarico got the win. It says Tallarico even held a fundraiser in Los Angeles, hosted by entertainment figures, including James Costas, a former HBO executive and U.S. ambassador during the Obama administration. Crockett also cultivated ties with Hollywood figures and industry groups in the months leading to the vote. But in the final weeks of the race, the unexpected late-night television controversy helped thrust James Tallarico into the national spotlight, and again, with a fake controversy, fake scandal. Not true. Even CBS was like, we don't know what he's talking about. We just said you got to have everybody on if you're going to do this. Same rules always. Steve, your what do you got now, Lauren? Now I don't have a question for you, and you got something to add. What are you saying here down there, Lauren?
No, it was nothing important. I really want to hear Steve's take on this, being a Canadian and an expert in U.S. politics.
And late night that he doesn't watch. Go ahead, Steve. You go to bed at 9 p.m. every night.
There's two thoughts that go through my mind.
And only two.
She got beat by a white guy.
Uh-oh.
How is that not the commentary?
And Tallarico, Steve. Tallarico. That can't be just, it's not Smith.
Yep. And then the other one is, can we call her like Jasmine Crockett from now on because she got bumped out of the race?
Oh, my. Wiz, this is not anything of what late night is supposed to be or was or what I wish it would be in the future. This is a real... I guess it's a total capture of what was once a great establishment and institution. People wanted to watch this. They would enjoy it. It was a great way to reframe the day, have a happy way to end, and wake up to the next day with a smile on your face. And they've completely changed it, altered it, but it's effective in some ways. And in this way, whereas most of America doesn't pay attention to what late night hosts say, on the left, it really worked.
You look at what late night has become across virtually all of the channels, except for, of course, Fox. But, all these late night hosts want to bind themselves to politics. And that's unfortunate because you're polarizing a lot of audiences. But they believe that it is their moral obligation to make everything that they do. Stagecraft is statecraft now, and even down to, we recently heard that in a Star Trek episode, Starfleet Academy, where they said theater and art is political, that all theater and art is political. And I wish that wasn't the case. It certainly isn't for everybody, but there is this specific group of folks that want to bind everything to their politics, and people are really sick of it. For sure, people are really, really sick of it. The center, most of the people that live in the sensible center just are sick and tired of it, and they're tuning out. They're not watching. So, whatever victories they might be patting themselves on the back for right now today, your ratings are still declining. Your ratings are not going up. Don't celebrate too long.
Well, think about this, Wiz. So, rather than telling jokes and having ratings and staying on the air, what they've used it for is they want to turn Texas blue. And the best chance they have is Tallarico, and definitely not Jasmine Crockett. So rather than any of the things that late night was designed to do, that's what they're going to use it to do. That's the purpose now of late night.
Something that's kind of scary, though, you want to talk about you turning Texas blue, is more Democrats voted in this primary than Republicans in Texas. Now, you could say things like, oh, well, it's just a primary, or it's an early vote, or it's not the actual election. It could be explained away. Clearly, Democrats here are mobilizing, and they're using whatever options or that are available in front of them, like Democrats are on the move. Yeah, and that's not taking sides. That's just a fact of what these results show.
But it's but it's an actual demographic shift because they grabbed all their U-Hauls and went to Texas. So
that's
well,
right.
just Austin. They're afraid of every other part of Texas. Just Austin.
For Democrat primary here, I pulled up the numbers. It's approximately 2.2 million ballots cast for the Democrats, and just over 2 million for Republicans. Now
what was it the last time?
That's a great question that I don't have a direct answer for. But
well, then why are you bringing up numbers if we have nothing to contrast?
He's doing a direct comparison between the enthusiasm of Republicans and Democrats. I know what you're doing, Wiz.
Right. You must be fake wizard.
Well, I am a fake wizard. I'm not a politician, or a pollster. But all I know is it working for him? Is late night working? Well, something is. I don't know if it's Stephen Colbert that's bringing in all of these votes, but it's something worth paying attention to for sure. Is Texas running the risk of going purple when it was very adamantly red not too long ago?
Could be. Dan Crenshaw lost. That was interesting, and that didn't have anything to do with late night. So we've had some upsets here. Ron, let me go to you on this.
An upset, though?
I'd call that one a win.
I was going to say
that's a win.
It's always an upset if an incumbent gets taken out.
Unless you're playing your hand here, Pro, because I think most people were like, "Yay, Dan's gone."
You're Canadian. You don't even know Dan.
You don't know him either.
Oh, you're right. I try to stay. No, there's a joke there I'm not going to make. Hey, Ron, you know the joke I was going to make. Hey, Ron, your thoughts on Stephen Colbert actually pulling this off? I mean, he's going off the air. Kimmel is as inadequate in getting his effect into reality, but when it comes to this one, they actually did something. They actually managed to be effective in enforcing some sort of change in politics through late night.
They did, but there's a kind of a major problem with it, and it shows that they can be effective with the one half the audience that they have kept, or maybe a little bit less than half the audience that they kept. What I mean by that is late night shows used to attract people from both sides of the aisle because nobody cared. As a matter of fact, it was the place that you would go to laugh at the other side, and you could pretty much be guaranteed to do that no matter which side you were on. Like if I watched Jay Leno in the 1990s, he's going to tell jokes about both sides, and everybody can laugh. Well, in the 2010s, these late night shows became so political, but it was very obvious that they all started leaning one direction, and that direction is, the left. And so now they can affect this change, and it's very interesting that they made a decision that this person that you're showing on the screen was so toxic to their party because if you ever listened to what she said, she was actually saying what the party really believes. She spoke.
Well, I don't know. The party kicked her out. I mean, that's what this is. Colbert and Hollywood and the party got together and said, let's pull a fake scandal and fundraise off of it for this guy.
Because she was toxic to the party, because she was saying to the public what the upper level of the party
I see.
believes.
I see. She was putting right. She pulled she pulled the truths from the sanctum that are not supposed to be out in the public sphere. All right, Wiz, you've got the numbers. What do you got on the official numbers for the elections?
Yeah. So just for posterity here, because Steve made a good point, we should compare it to the last number. So
thank you.
The most recent primary, which was March 6, 2026, Democrats 2.2 million, Republicans just above 2 million. So it's a 0.2 million difference.
What was the primary, Wiz? Hold on a second. What was the primary that you're talking about in Texas? Is that all primaries in Texas?
That's primary. No, that's the primary. That's the most recent one that we just passed. The previous one, comparatively, Republicans had 2.32 million, and Democrats had 975,000.
Oh, well, here's what we would need to know.
We're talking big numbers now, folks.
Yes, but here's what we need to know. If there's an incumbent in the primary, so this is a new primary where you've got Crockett trying to come in and replace, and you've got Tallarico. These are two new individuals, Crockett coming from the House. And so anyway, if there's an incumbent the last primary who is almost guaranteed to win, it will suppress the overall primary votes. So that's one thing we have to keep into account there. Anyway.
It's showing there is strong Democrat enthusiasm in Texas right now.
Yep. I would say Arlen is looking a little bit more purple than Hank would like for it to. But who knows? Maybe Stephen Colbert will hop on in there and push it straight on over to full-blown blue. You know, it's always sad when one of these video ends, and yet it is the beginning of the wait for the next one to land 4 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. And by the way, there's plenty more on our partner channels, That Park Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and go check out the original music we have on stations like Vacation Radio. We'd love to have you, love to entertain you. At least we'll do a better job than some of the current entertainment companies. Folks, like, share, subscribe, and you know what? Drop a comment right on down below. Share this out anywhere you go on social media. And until the next time, we have the honor, the pleasure of getting to spend time with you when you choose to invite us into your day to add the value that we hope to bring your way. We ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.